What's up, guys? Blademaster here, and you're watching the Wolf of Remus channel. And this is another battle that I've got in Total War Rome 2. And this is a pretty special battle, at least to me, because in this one I'm playing against the king of Total War multiplayer. Yes, it is the Armenian King. It's been a while since both of us played. Uh, we did play one which was recorded and it was posted in his channel, but that was from a really long time ago. But yeah, I finally managed to track him down and get a couple of games with him, and this is just one of them. In this one, I've taken Boya and he's taken Pontus, um, and he's gone with a very pike heavy build. He's taken 5 total levy pikes, and he's brought 3 Eastern Archers, I believe. Yeah, 3 Eastern Archers and 1 Pontic Peltas, 2 Pontic Swordsmen, and a Chariot, and a total of 8 Noble Blood Cav. So a very potent build, but also depends on how well he can use the levy pikes and try and ensure that they are not a liability. We'll see how they fare in this battle. Um, and I have brought a total of 4 sword followers as the Boyai, 4 Levy Freemen. Let me go put this on slow motion. And 2 Veteran Spears, 3 Celtic Bowmen, a total of 6 Heavy Horse, and a Noble Horse Gem. Now, since I brought a lot of Levy Freemen, I didn't mind using one of them against his Scythian Horse Archers. Oh yeah, he also brought one of them, which he used very aggressively and started showering heavy shot on my heavy horse right from the start of the battle. So using Levy Freeman this way, like I've said before, is a very effective way to nullify the threat that horse archers can cause very easily. And meanwhile, I've just decided to close the gap between our troops. I definitely suffer a big disadvantage on the skirmishing front. But levy pikes are levy pikes, and in the meta game right now, they're not very strong. So that could possibly be an advantage. But provided I can micro better than he can, which is always a big challenge, because as we all know, ArmenianKing is the king of micro. He was one of the first YouTubers that I started watching, because I found the Reddit Total War sub initially, and then I saw him post one of his videos, and then he was one of the first. I didn't even know about Arif Carthage until Memkin told me about him. But anyways, here he sees one of my Levy Freemen who are pretty extended from my main line. I put them up there for a reason, so that I can absorb as much ammo from his archers as possible. And I pop a shield screen because I notice his Noble Blood Cap trying to charge, but they still catch and kill a lot of my Levy Freemen for some reason. But meanwhile, I did catch his Scythian horse archers and routed them, and now I've got a charge off on his Noble Blood Cap, but they're much stronger than Heavy Horse. And as you can see, these guys are dropping pretty quickly. But I do have a Levy Freeman unit which is right there. Even though they're wavering, I'm sure they'll get a couple of kills. They have got 5 Noble Blood Cap kills so far. Meanwhile, this Heavy Horse has done pretty well. And the Levy Freeman whom I set to catch his horse archers have now engaged with his one of his other Noble Blood Cav, and he's sending his Pontic swordsman Jen to deal with them, and they'll kill them in a matter of seconds. So to counter that, I kite these guys back a bit and put them back in formation, so that they can last a bit longer against his Jen. Meanwhile, I'm pulling my forces up in front, trying to close the gap as usual. And now I see that he's brought his chariot, and here's where my noble horse would come in handy. I do have them pretty far away, and all my other cav are really extended quite far to try and encircle him. And I see the threat that of these chariots, and in response, I put my guys on shield wall. Shield wall is a pretty useful tactic to use against chariots, and he sees this and decides to kite them back. Which is a pretty good move. Wow, why is my camera acting so weird? Okay, anyways. And I also move one of my noble horse, my noble horse to try and counter them. So he is very smart kite back. But he does extend them again to try and catch one of my Levy Freeman units. And I managed to catch him with my noble horse just in time. One unit of noble horse would do damage, but And usually I would think that these chariots would be goners by now, and they have lost at one unit, but a lot of them have just pulled through, which is not good because now they've caught my Celtic bowman. So whatever chance I had of trying to out skirmish him is gone right off the bat. Now they're pulling through to my other Celtic bowman unit, and these guys are suffering a bunch of casualties. They are in a very precarious position right now because they can catch my swordsman on the rear, but my noble horse gen is coming back to attack them, and they have lost a bunch of units. I have no idea why. Maybe his archers were firing at them. I didn't really see many arrows, attack them, but it kind of looked like these side chariots, got a lot of noble horse kills as well, because you can see that these guys have got two chevrons already. So yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know. Uh, I was pretty confused at this during this game as well. Um, but meanwhile, his Pontic swordsman, he does a really good tactic here. He keeps trying to engage my levy freeman and then pulls his general back behind his pike line, which is a pretty useful tactic. And it's all down to who can out micro the best at this point. His build is okay, but I mean, I might have a pretty good advantage with my sword followers because these guys are very strong mid-tier units. But the thing is that they've been caught by chariots, so it's not. I don't know about that. Now I see. Whoa, god damn it! I see him bring his noble horse or noble bloodcap to attack my cav regiment. So I quickly pull away with two of them and put one unit on wedge and then charge into his units. So what my plan here is, while I've engaged his cab, I would bring these guys around and try to flank them, or even better, try and catch his archers who are dealing a bunch of damage right now. You can see 55, 55, 31. They've already got a bunch of kills. Now, my the other two noble blood calves that I had are circling around as well. So in terms of coordination, this has turned out to be pretty decent. But he had one of his Pontic swordsmen attack my sword followers in the flank. So I bring my noble horse gen to countercharge them. But just because his levy pikes are so close, they managed to just catch some of my noble horse while they were trying to charge these guys. But the cav battle is looking a bit better from on my side. Uh, he has very smartly engaged all my cav, so that nullifies the threat that they can try and come back and rear charge his levy pikes, which is basically the best way or the only way that I can win. Because the thing about levy pikes is you need to bring a lot of numbers, which he did very smartly. Because once you have these numbers, you can pike box, and you are not limited to just a regular box like this. You can actually do like a pike pentagon, like what he's doing, which can be a lot more useful. Because at the end of the day, the more pikes you have, the less maneuvering you need to do. And but one of his pikes were trying to maneuver, and I caught them with one of my heavy horse. But in general, the cav battle right now is not looking in my favor, despite the fact that I've got like veteran spears, helping out. It's not really going in my favor. But his Pontic swordsman did get a bunch of casualties from my heavy horse charge and stuff, and I do have them engaged. Meanwhile, I pulled back one of the few heavy horse that I have left, and what I was trying to do was try and catch his swordsman in the back, but I think better of it and decide to attack and kill off his noble blood cav, because at the end of the day, if I kill a lot of his units, or a lot of his more higher morale units, it's going to be better for me, because levy pikes, they do tend to mass out, because I mean, you look at their morale, they've got a base morale of 35, which is terrible. So that was my plan, and I do kill his general at this point. My gen died a long time ago, um, but in terms of how it's looking, it's not looking great. But I still have a decent chance. Just depends if I can try and catch him trying to maneuver one of his spikes and maybe kill some of his archers that way, just like I did here. That would be the only way that I can win this game. His swordsmen have been depleted, and now I've got a charge on them, and these heavy horse are going to do a bunch of damage because those guys are low on HP. So and the fact that they weren't braced or anything, that means that they will lose a bunch of men. Here I just try and maneuver my veteran spears, but this is I've always known that he's a very skilled player at using pikes, And the way he does it is he just maneuvers them ever so slightly. Like he kites them back a couple of centimeters so that they won't be caught with their pikes in the sky. So the shorter the maneuver is, the quicker they're going to put their pikes down. So the quicker they put their pikes down, the quicker they'll become useful to you and not a massive liability. I see some of his Pontic Peltas and archers running away, and they're outside the pike box, which is not great news for him. So while I was trying to catch them, he did catch me with some of his noble bloodcap, but I do have veteran spears who are helping out, and they do get a bunch of kills. And these guys are always very strong units, and against a faction like Pontus, it's always a good idea to bring the spears like veteran spears who will last for a longer time. You might think that okay, the best way to do it is to counter Pontus is to maybe bring like six spear warriors or like Levy Freeman or something. But against very strong cav like Noble Blood Cav, it's pretty useful if you bring some spears who have high melee defense and armor like these guys. I would still think that the spear choices available to Kedai would be better suited against a faction like Pontus, but that doesn't mean that Boei can't be a good counter faction powers. Um, at the end of the day, this was just a friendly match, so I wasn't trying to pick like a very competitive faction or something. I obviously played as best as I could because after all, it's the ArmenianKing. But I wasn't thinking too much about my builds, just trying to like wing it and see what I brought. I mean, and not spend too much time picking out a build and stuff like that. Now he's just decided to pike box, which is always a good strategy. He's only got levy pikes at this point, so the only way that you would ever win with them is if you pike box, especially since he doesn't have any peltas or anything left. The only way that he can win this is if he chooses to pike box. So the only way I can win is if I can catch some of his pikes this way, like while they're running back. So this is oops. So this is actually a pretty smart tactic on his part, because while I thought that he was leaving having a weak point, he just what he did was he enticed me to charge into his pikes, but all he was doing was move them back behind his line. So when I decided to charge him, all I would be doing was charge into the second line of his spikes. So yeah, pretty smart move. Not really necessary because at this point I've lost the game. There's nothing I can do against a six-man pike box, especially with the few units that I have. So at this point it was just up to me to try and encircle him as best as I could and catch some of his units while they were trying to maneuver back, and I do catch some of them. It's not going to be enough, but they are losing a few men. And when you see one unit to route when you see one unit start to route, um, it's there's always a chance that there'll be a mass route because Levy Pikes, as I said, have got low morale, but he does do a really good tactic and put steady on. So steady actually gives a hidden morale boost because it would just make your men last longer. So in that way, if the fewer men they lose, obviously their morale will stay intact for a longer time. So now my warriors have decided to waver and rout. I guess they knew like how I knew that this game was lost at this point. But I still have one unit of veteran spears, and this is just patch 14 for you. You always have one unit that's just chilling and like decides to try and fight till the death. But that's the end of the game, anyways. His side chariots did so well. 353 kills from these guys is absolutely insane. Um, and if he didn't manage to kill as many units as he did, I would have won this game for sure. I would think. Because I did kill off his archers and peltas, who, in all fairness, did get a lot of kills. I think they killed a lot of my bowmen, so maybe that's why they got high numbers. But at the end of the day, the way he used his spikes was what ensured that he won the game. His general did really well, but as can be expected from sword followers, they always do well. And this is despite the fact that they lost a bunch of men to that side chariot unit. Veteran spears did quite good actually. One of my veteran spears did amazing. My Levy Freeman didn't do great, but you can't really expect them to do too much. I only brought them to add numbers and keep, have some nearby spear support for my cavalry units, um, who did decent, 62, 160, 56, 46, 46, and 39. So not bad at all. Especially considering that, they went up against Noble Blood Cav, who are much stronger than them. But all in all, um, I guess I could have maybe used them a bit better. I'm not really sure. He didn't give me many chances to, or he didn't make any mistakes, or many mistakes in this game, I would say. But all in all, a very close fight, and hopefully it's been a fun battle to watch. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.